Hello everyone, this is Mr. Steelix, your girl, here with another VGC beginner guide, this time featuring Koraidon. Koraidon is a brand new fighting and dragon type legendary introduced in Pokemon Scarlet and is known for its incredible offensive pressure. Koraidon also makes for an easy Pokemon to team build around thanks to its incredible signature ability, which sets the sun weather effect to support a wide variety of teammates as well as boosting its own offensive power. But first, let's look at what makes Koraidon unique. Koraidon has a stat total of 670 with an emphasis on attack and speed and solid bulk. Koraidon also has a relatively powerful typing with 7 resistances and only 5 weaknesses. Koraidon's signature move is called Collision Course. This is a 100 base power fighting type physical attack that has a secondary effect which boosts the damage by 33% if the attack is super effective against the target. But what truly makes Koraidon stand out is its powerful signature ability, Orichalcum Pulse. This ability actually has 2 effects. Orichalcum Pulse's first effect is that it changes the weather to harsh sunlight when the Pokemon enters the battle. The harsh sunlight weather effect has 4 main components that make it extremely powerful. 1. Fire type moves base power are increased by 50%. 2. Water type moves base power are decreased by 50%. 3. Certain moves like Solar Beam and Solar Blade can be used in one turn rather than 2. And 4. The sun weather effect activates specific abilities like chlorophyll or photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a brand new ability introduced in Scarlet and Violet and is the signature ability of the ancient Paradox Pokemon. And if all that wasn't enough, Orichalcum Pulse's second effect gives Koraidon a 33% boost to its physical attack while harsh sunlight is active on the field, making it a physical powerhouse. Now that we've got some context on Koraidon, let's move on to builds and how to use it. Koraidon is a powerful physical attacker that typically runs a pretty standard build. It excels in 2 key roles, maintaining the sun weather effect for its team and acting as a deadly 1v1 assassin capable of dishing out massive damage to most targets. For its EV spread, we use a straightforward 252 attack, 252 speed with a jolly nature to maximize our offense and speed. This ensures that Koraidon at the very least speed ties with other base 135 threats like Miraidon, Chien-Pao, and opposing Koraidon. Now when it comes to held items, you've got a few solid options depending on what you want your Koraidon to bring to the table. Life Orb, a simple and effective boost to damage. Life Orb gives Koraidon that extra punch, letting it hit even harder, though it comes at the cost of a bit of HP each turn. Clear Amulet, a great pick for avoiding stat drops, especially from Intimidate or speed control moves like Icy Wind and Electro Web. And finally, one of my personal favorites, Ability Shield. This item shines on Koraidon when paired with Galarian Weezing. Galarian Weezing's signature ability, Neutralizing Gas, disables most abilities while it's on the field. However, Ability Shield protects Koraidon, allowing the harsh sunlight to activate normally so that Koraidon can continue to operate at full power while your opponents flounder. Now moving on to our moveset, we opt for Flare Blitz, which is our most powerful fire type physical move that gets a nice damage boost in the sun, with the only downside being recoil damage that we will take after every use. Our next move is going to be Collision Course or Close Combat. Collision Course is stronger when hitting targets for super effective damage thanks to its boosted effect in those situations, but on the other hand, Close Combat has higher base power overall, making it a better choice against neutral targets, but it does come with the drawback of lowering your defenses after each use. So deciding between the two really comes down to what you value more: consistent damage with no drawback or raw power at the cost of some bulk. And our final offensive move is Flame Charge. Flame Charge is one of the best utility moves Koraidon can run thanks to the +1 speed boost it grants after use. With our current EV spread, just one Flame Charge is enough to outspeed max speed Calyrex Shadow Rider. Plus, Flame Charge gets a damage boost from sunlight, making it even more effective. But there's another reason why Flame Charge is so good, and it all has to do with a top secret terastallization mechanic that Game Freak does not want you to know about. Here's how it works. When you terastallize into a type that matches the move you're using, any move with less than 60 base power gets boosted up to 60, as long as it isn't a multi-hit or a priority move. So now imagine this. Koraidon terastallizes into fire. Flame Charge goes from base 50 to base 60 power. Koraidon now gets a stab on its fire type moves, and Flame Charge gets a further 50% boost thanks to the sun, all while still raising your speed after use. That's 4 layers of value from just one move. And now that we're talking about Terra types, fire really is the best option available for Koraidon. As mentioned earlier, it gives Koraidon a stab boost of Flare Blitz and Flame Charge, which are also boosted in the sun, but not only that, this Terra type also flips Koraidon's weaknesses in Ice and Fairy to resistances. Now that we've covered Koraidon's build and playstyle, let's talk about team building. Koraidon is unsurprisingly easy to build around, thanks to its ability to set the sun, which synergizes with a ton of different Pokemon. But here are a few standout partners. Ancient Paradox Pokemon like Fluttermane. With Photosynthesis, Fluttermane boosted speed by 1.5 times under the sun, allowing it to provide strong support with moves like Icy Wind for speed control and Taunt to shut down opposing setup or utility. And the Ancient Paradox Pokemon Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet has become a top tier partner for Koraidon, functioning similarly to Amoonguss with access to Spore and Rage Powder, but unlike Amoonguss, Brute Bonnet has a huge attack stat, often boosted further by Photosynthesis, allowing it to pressure with Sucker Punch and Seed Bomb while still playing that much needed support role. And finally, let's talk about the Regulation I partners. There's really 2 that have proven time after time to be the pinnacle partners for Koraidon, with the first being Shadow Rider Calyrex. When these 2 are paired together, you're playing with an incredibly fast-paced and dominating hyper-offensive team that can slug with huge physical or special damage. They also form a very strong offensive pin with their fighting and ghost coverage, making it very difficult for opponents to safely use normal or dark types, or even Terra into either of those types, to avoid Astral Barrage without opening up big weaknesses to Koraidon. And our second restricted legendary partner being Lunala. Lunala and Koraidon just pair so well together for so many reasons, one of those being their type advantages against each other's weaknesses. Lunala also provides a great deal of support with moves like Wide Guard to protect against opposing spread damage, while also giving you the option to run slow or fast modes with Tailwind and Trick Room. So normally I like to end these guide videos by briefly going over some shortcomings or issues that I have with the Pokemon that we're covering and why I think it holds them back. But while I was in the middle of making this video, the Pokemon World Championships happened. Not only did Koraidon win the World Championship, but it secured the 2nd and 3rd place finish on top of that. A clean triple crown to end on in the last World Championships to be played on Scarlet and Violet. Koraidon is truly an exceptional legendary that excels not only in its own incredible firepower, but also in what it can do to elevate the team around it. Thanks for checking out my VGC beginner guide focused on Koraidon. If you liked what you watched, feel free to drop a like, comment, or subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for watching.